So, good morning everyone. Today, me and my group mates, Samporano and Caron, will discuss Psychology of the Individual by Gordon Allport. So, let's start. So, first, si Gordon Allport. Sino ba siya? Si Gordon Allport was born on November 11, 1897. He died October 9, 1967. So Gordon Allport was an American psychologist and was a professor at Harvard University. So si Gordon Allport is he has this theory about personality, which is na gi-emphasize niya yung uniqueness na isang person. So let's start. So what is personality? Ito yung main focus ni Gordon Allport. Gusto niya malaman yung uniqueness ng individual. Doon siya nakafocus. Yung theory niya is nakafocus doon. So Gordon Allport defined personality as the dynamic organization within the individual of those psychophysical systems that determine his unique adjustments to his environment. So, lahat ng words na yan is nakadefine naman. May meaning yan siya. So, let's start with dynamic organization. So, when we say dynamic organization, it implies yung personality is not fixed. It is always changing and developing. So for simple explanation, kumbaga yung personality natin naga-interact sa each other habang lumalaki tayo is naga-develop siya. For example, yung mahiyain na bata, habang tumatagal nag-gain siya ng confidence by joining the classworks, interacting with her friends, public speaking. So yun yung nag-imply sa dynamic organization. Psychophysical systems, ano ito siya? So para madali natin maintindihan, separate natin yung psycho pati yung physical. Psychological, which means thoughts, emotion, attitudes, and physical, brain, nakatopic siya sa brain, sa mga nervous system, sa mga genetics natin. So this combined will result sa mga mental processes and biological factors. So yun yung psychophysical. It involves both the mind and the body. From the word itself, psycho pati physical. So determine naman. Ano yung determine na ginamit ni Gordon Allport? Personality influence and guides how a person behaves and thinks. Yung determine is yung traits natin nakakayang i-predict how you will react in certain situations. So, let's say for example, a friendly person, he tends to talk easily kasi yun yung nagdedetermine sa kanyang friendly na trait. Yung serious na person, mas prefer niya yung mga activities na quiet pati more educational. So next is characteristics. Ano yung characteristics dun sa word ni Gordon Allport sa quote niya? So ang characteristics is the unique traits that make a person different from others. Ano yun siya? Let's say each person kasi has distinct patterns of traits. Kumbaga iba-iba tayo ng mga trait. For example, yung kaibigan natin, mga traits ng kaibigan natin. May kaibigan tayo na honest, kind, may kaibigan tayo na paggalit, aggressive, may mga kaibigan tayo na responsible, optimistic. Yun yung mga examples ng characteristic. So next is behavior and thought. Ano ito siya? So personality affects what we do and how we think. So when we say we do, it's our behavior and think, it's our thought. So, in simple terms, kung paano tayo kung anong ginagawa natin, ganun din tayo mag-isip. Personality affects or influences actions, feelings, decision making, and ways of thinking. For example na lang sa mas madali. Kapag sa example na tao, ang optimistic na tao will think positively even kahit sa mga mahirap na problema. Kasi yun siya. Ganun ang thought niya. Kahit mahirap ang problema, nakaprogram ang brain niya at pati mga experience niya, decision making niya na maging mas positive. Okay, next. Conscious motivation. Conscious motivation is we are aware of what we are doing and the reasons for doing it. In simple terms, alam natin yung ginagawa natin. May conscious tayo at sa ating mga ginagawa. Robert Gordon Alport insisted that his motivation was quite conscious. He simply wanted to know Freud's idea about dirt phobia in a child so young. Okay, next is characteristics of a healthy person. So, meron tayong 6 characteristics. Yung extension of the sense of self, or Gemeinschaftgefühl. A healthy person cares about others and feels connected to the community and society. Ito yung past topic natin, yung pagiging sociable ng tao. Healthy person has these characteristics. May pakisama siya sa tao, family-oriented, community, tapos nakikihalubilo sa mga social activities. For example, nagtutulong siya sa mga kapitbahay niya, nag-volunteer, and may paki siya sa social issues. Warm relating to self and others. A healthy person can build warm, loving, and genuine relationships. So, dito naman, masasabi natin na healthy ang isang person kapag nagpapakita siya ng mga love, respect, empathy, pati how he forms friendships, and also how they accept themselves and treat others kindly. So next is emotional security. So a healthy person accepts themselves and can manage their emotions well. They are not easily overwhelmed by stress or criticism. They understand their strengths and weaknesses. Let's say for example, if they make a mistake, they learn from it instead na mag-blame sa kanilang sarili. May control sila sa kanilang emotion. Realistic perception of the environment. A healthy person sees reality clearly and objectively. They understand situation realistically. Kumaga, mas may sense sila ng realism. Na kung may gawin sila ganito, alam nilang consequence. They do not distort reality because of fear, bias, or imagination. Hindi naka-cloud yung judgment nila based on fear, sa bias, kung may friends sila, kahit mali yung ginawa ng friend nila, alam nila kung ano yung tama. So, a great example of this is yung pag-accept ng constructive criticism and understanding real problems. Next is insight and humor. A healthy person understands themselves well and can laugh at themselves. So when we say insight, ito yung self natin na aware tayo about our behavior. And humor is the ability to see the funny. So let's say for example, sa real life, nagkamali ka ng konti lang. Instead na maging malungkot ka, tinawanan mo na lang yung problem kasi hindi naman siya ganun ka-big deal. And yun. So next is unifying philosophy in life. A healthy person has a clear purpose, values, or direction in life. So ano ito siya? Ito yung mga ating mga personal beliefs, mga moral values, mga life goals. Kumbaga isa kang tao na may prinsipyo. Kumbaga may lahat ng ginagawa mo is may purpose and alam mo kung ano yung ginagawa mo. Okay, next. Next is the structure of personality. So we have here na is the personal disposition. Ano ito siya? Personal disposition is a person's unique personality traits. Kumbaga, ito yung nag-shape. Ito yung mga traits natin. Let's say, for example, individual characteristics. Yung mga ating patterns ng trait. And example niya is, kunwari, student is very hardworking, extremely friendly, naturally curious. Yan yung mga traits, mga individual natin. So sa traits is meron tayong tinatawag na common, pati individual traits. So common traits shared by many people. Ito yung mga trait na makikita natin sa lahat ng tao, karamihan. Kumbaga, for example, yung pagiging honest, yung pagiging mabait, pagiging aggressive. Kasi halos lahat yan is lagi mo natin makikita yung intelligence ng mga tao. Halos lahat yan kasi common, normal yan na magkaganyan tayo na trait. Next is the unique or individual traits. Ito yung mga traits na doon tayo nakikilala yung tayo lang ang meron. For example, may trait ka na kapag may bata ka na makita, may girl ka na makita is masyashy ka. Regardless kung kahit sino yun, basta you cannot do the things you do kasi you are shy. Kasi hindi naman kasi yun normal sa lahat ng tao. May mga tao lang talaga na ganun. May mga tao na shy sa mga opposite gender.
Let us talk about the level of personal disposition. According to Gordon Allport, personality traits can be grouped into 3 levels: cardinal disposition, central disposition, and secondary disposition. The first is cardinal disposition. This refers to the strongest and most dominant trait in a personality. It strongly influences almost all of a person's behavior. However, not all people have a cardinal trait. For example, a person who is known for extreme generosity may show kindness in almost everything they do. The second is central disposition. These are the main traits that describe a person's personality. Usually, a person has around 5 to 10 central traits that appear in everyday behavior. Examples include being honest, friendly, responsible, and confident. The third is secondary disposition. These are weaker traits that appear only in certain situations. They usually involve personal preference or attitude. For example, someone may feel nervous during exam or being shy when speaking in public. Next, let us discuss Allport theory of motivation. Allport believed that people do not only react to their environment. Instead, they can actively shape and influence their environment. There are 2 types of behavior: reactive behavior and proactive behavior. Reactive behavior means people act mainly to maintain balance or stability in their lives. Second is proactive behavior, means people consciously act on their environment to grow and improve themselves. Allport also believed that mature individuals are not only motivated by pleasure or the desire to avoid pain. Instead, they develop new motivation that become independent from their original motives. Another concept introduced by Alport is the proprium. Proprium refers to the aspect of personality that people consider important to their identity. These include their values, habits, and personal goals. Finally, according to Alport, most people are motivated by their present goal rather than by past experience. People are usually aware of their action and understand the reason behind them. There are two types of motives: peripheral motives and appropriate strivings. Peripheral motives help reduce basic needs or tension, while appropriate strivings are long-term goals that are important to a person's sense of self and personal growth. In conclusion, Alport theory emphasized that personality traits and present motivation play an important role in shaping human behavior and personal development.
Preservative function autonomy. This is the low-level version of it's when a behavior stick around just because it became a routine, not because it means something deep to you. Halimbawa, normal day ng klase is 5 a.m. ka nagigising. Tapos, dumaan na yung bakasyon, yung summer, na wala nang klase, wala nang ginagawa, pero 5 a.m. ka pa rin nagigising. Kaya ganito, nasanay na yung gumising ng 5 a.m. ng ganung oras, kumbaga, nasettle na yung body clock na every 5 a.m. nagigising na po tayo. For example, doon sa PPT namin na nagtututbrush yung bata, sinasabihan ng magulang na magtutbrush everyday. Hanggang sa pagtanda niya, dala-dala niya pa rin yung pagtututbrush. Hindi dahil sa gusto ng bata na magtutbrush lang, kundi kinakailangan natin na magtutbrush everyday. Appropriate function autonomy. Identify level naman ito. Magkaiba doon sa una is habit lang, kumbaga nakasanayan. While dito sa gusto talaga, kasi yun yung pinapakilala kung sino ba talaga siya o ano ba talaga yung gusto niya bilang siya. This is the high level version. It's when behavior becomes part of who you are. Halimbawa, nung bata pa siya, pinapractice siya ng kanyang parents na kung paano magpiano. Along the way, nagpa-practice yung bata and then realize niya na gusto pala niyang magpatugtog ng piano. Therefore, nung lumaki na siya, kahit na di na siya sinasabihan ng kanyang parents, nagpapatugtog siya ng piano. Ginagawa niya ito kasi yun yung gusto niya o yun yung nagpapasaya sa kanya. Halimbawa, dyan sa PPT, diba dyan yung merong nag-study na bata, hindi yan siya nag-study lang, kundi gusto niya lang mag-high grade and ka-study yan siya kasi gusto niya pagbabasa or yung pagkakaroon ng lifelong learning. What is not functionally autonomous? All parts say something are never independent. They are always tied to your factory settings. Physical needs, you don't learn to be hungry. You just are. Ibig sabihin, automatic lang tayong nakaka-feel ng gutom kasi yun yung kinakailangan ng ating body. Kumbaga, sila yung nagre-react kung gutom na ba o hindi. We're not teaching our body kung paano gutumin. Kusa lang na nararamdaman once na kailangan na natin pakainin ang ating tiyan. Reflexes, you don't choose to blink our body, just it. Dito same lang sa una. Di natin kinokontrol ang mata natin kung paano mag-blink or idilat. Kusa lang ito mag-blink kung kailan gusto niya. Basic drives. Things like breathing or turning from a fire. Same lang din sa dalawa. The two ways to study people. Nomothetic, the group view looking for what makes humans similar. Most people feel stressed during exam. Dito kay tinitingnan mo kung anong kakaiba mo sa lahat. For example, kayong section is kabado kayo kapag exam. So lahat kayo nakakaramdam ng kaba. Wala sa inyo ang hindi nakakaramdam ng kaba. Lahat kayo ay fair. Ideographic morphogenic. Ito yung dalawa na magkasing tulad. The unique view, looking for what makes you specifically different from everyone else. Why does this specific person love collecting vintage stamp? Dito naman tinitignan mo ang kaiba mo sa kanila. Ibig sabihin, unique ka pag ikaw yung kakaiba. Halimbawa, ikaw lang nakakaiba sa lahat. For example, ang mga tropa ay may hilig mag-basketball or maglaro ng games sa cellphone. And ikaw ay nakatingin lang sa gilid and wala kang ginagawa. So, ikaw yung kakaiba. Different sa kanilang lahat.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.